It is not an easy time for a lot of places,
For sure.
including Govindaland, including London, no doubt. The usual collections, etc. Probably not happening so much. But Lavanya and Sachidevi, they went out collecting last week, right? What's their news report? Were they able to do anything successfully? Maybe Rasamai Pandita can give a little news report.
Yes, Maharaj, they have been actually going.
Oh dear, am I frozen? Is it my internet?
We can hear you, Maharaj, but your picture seems to be frozen, yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Maharaj and Prabhu?
Yes.
Yes, so they've been going out a little bit, trying to pick up on the collection again, and especially at this time, they tend to go out for Christmas collection like every day, and they've been doing that. Lavanya and Sachididi also a few days, and it's actually it's a little bit more tricky, obviously, but it's happening. And one lady gave Lavanya Mindidi £100 the other day on the card.
Wow.
The British people are very generous. Actually, they're always very generous when it comes to giving to charity. It comes naturally to them. It's very beautiful quality.
Jane.
British people.
The British Jiva's Dharma. Which brings us on to the topic of today. And first of all, Vijay Krishna, welcome. Dandavats Prabhu, and welcome. And Krishna Lalana Devidasi, welcome. Joining in the West London Temple. And we're all, oh yes, oh look, you see, devotees are coming in thick and fast now, joining in. Praneshwari Devidasis arrived from Florida. Shantimoy Devidasis arrived from here, the food kiosk, the Christmas hamper basket, vegetarian goodies, wholesome goodies, gifts kiosk outside here at the Vila Govinda Ashram. Govinda Nandinis come all the way from Brazil to join us. Shama Sundari, Mahamantra, Subhadra coming from Spain, and Jai Lalita coming from London with you all. And Saraswati Didi coming from the kitchen, no doubt, doing her service there. And Shakira from South Africa, B.R. Madhusudan, coming from some terrible place, no doubt. Yes, Shakira. But we have some opportunity in this life to try to make wherever we've come from successful, means to make our direction where we're going to successful. And now Supasini just joined us from Ireland. So, and Chaitanya Moy Devirasi from Rome, and Dhananjay Prabhu somewhere nearby, keeping Italy's internet running. Just see.
Dandavat.
Dandavat, Chaitanya Moy. So, a little news for all the devotees that now London is very punctual, and they've smoothened out all the hiccups of the internet, and so they are opening each week now just a few minutes before the hour so that we're able to join in, and now they don't have to be puzzled how to get in. They've solved the problem. Well done. So we raise a flag of well done, a victory flag for the London digital section. There we are, Praneshwari Devirasi giving her obeisances to the victory flag. Jai. And to the victory flag of devotion. So I think now 10 minutes in, we're probably together, and maybe a few more will join. But first of all, we've come together in West London's temple. I think they are our host from the beginning, but Devashis Prabhu is also there. in heart. So we are also there in heart. So let us all in the temple room come together and say, Jai Saparika. Oh, remind me, Jai Saparika. Pandita, give me the proper Saparikas for London. West.
Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ki Jai.
Jai. Okay. So, and let us give our obeisances to each other. So, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Not to take devotees for granted. All the devotees are very valuable. So, devotion, devotee, this kind of word Gurudev always liked. And today, Devashis Prabhu has given us a very nice theme, as always, every week a nice theme, that of Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma, the religion of the soul. And I wonder how many people, how many of us gathered here have read the book Jaiva Dharma. And I can say from my side, I read it in the 1980s. So I honestly don't have a lot of recollection of what is between the front cover and the back cover, except in a general way, of course. But Jaiva Dharma, we understand if we look in the dictionary, what does Jaiva mean? It means, it's a Sanskrit word which means of the Jiva, of the soul. The Jiva being us, of course, the soul, Jiva Atma. So Jaiva Dharma, what is the nature of the soul? What is the soul's nature? And sometimes we hear the Dharma of fire is it is hot, the Dharma of water is it is wet, etc. So what is the Dharma of the Jiva? It is devotion. The Dharma is devotion. And we have quotations from the book of Jaiva Dharma are found here and there throughout our scripture. And there's one part I'd just like to read to you. It's from the book Awakening to the Highest. It's called Awakening to the Highest Absolute, perhaps. Oh, let me just come to the, Awakening to the Absolute by Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And I believe this was put together by Sripad Tridandi Maharaj, if I'm not mistaken. A long time ago, this was put together. And in this book, I just wanted to read something very sweet by Guru Maharaj. And here, this is referring to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book, Jaiva Dharma. So Guru Maharaj is saying, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book, Jaiva Dharma, we find one Vaishnava, a Vaishnava, is asking his Gurudev, devotion, it is eternal, but why do you say that it came from Mahaprabhu? Good question. Then his guru, Paramahansa Babaji, is saying, I visited Vrindavan and asked the eternal servitor of Sri Chaitanya Dev, Sanatan Goswami. I asked, this Anarpita Charing Chirat, which has never been dealt with before, what is the meaning underlying this? Then Sanatana Goswami replied, Bhakti is eternal. In Narad Bhakti Sutra, Shandilya Sutra, all such scriptures, this has been given. But the type of devotion which Mahaprabhu came with, which we meet after the advent of Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Dev, that was not previously at any time open to the ordinary person. So it is called Anarpita Charing. And what is that standard of devotion? It is this. It is complete surrender to Krishna in consorthood, where every atom of the Jiva soul gets welcomed and embraced by the corresponding atom of Krishna consciousness, Madhura Rasa. That was not open to the public before. That is my finding, my faith. You may accept or not. Then Sanatana Goswami told like this to that Vaishnava, that this is my private conception. You may take it or not. This was Sanatana Goswami's reply. And in general, so that's the quote that I'm referring to here. And in general, we understand that Sanatana Dharma, it means the very quality of our soul, our eternal duty, what is eternally attached with us, not temporarily. And Jaiva Dharma and Sanatana Dharma, they are used somewhat interchangeably. However, here in this conversation with Sanatana Goswami, then we see another aspect to the Jaiva Dharma, and that is that at this time in particular, then the full awakening of the consorthood relationship with Krishna, which has never been given before, is available to the Jiva souls. So almost like turbocharged Jaiva Dharma. What is the constitutional position of the soul? Then it is that of a devotee. But then in the gradation of devotion, then we come up to really the soul in its fully satisfied, its fully matured position is there in the highest aspect, given by Mahaprabhu, distributed by Mahaprabhu as this Madhura Rasa relationship of service to the Lord. So, Jaiva Dharma, Devashis Prabhu is kindly in giving us all a little bit of a reminder, a big reminder of who we are inside and what is our potential. And throughout our scriptures, we see that how do we open up that potential is by following our sadhana, following what is given for us to do in this age. So that's why we have the morning programs, evening programs. That's why we have savor in the day. That's why we've been given the guidance of how to see everything in relationship to Krishna, and the guidance of how to increase our hankering for what we don't have, but we know is the cherished ideal. So to increase our hunger, our hankering for that land of Krishna, the land where everything is Krishna-centered and nothing is self-centered at all. And by following the process, as Guru Maharaj says, the key to the door to the upper world is not in our hand. The key for that door is in the hand of the Lord and his agents in that world. So here we are in prison. We don't have the key to get out of the jail. No one's going to give the prisoner the key. Who's going to have the key for the jailhouse is the prison warden. So, a little reality check for us, that we're in the jail, we have no access to the key is outside, but the key to them turning the key is to listen to their good advice and be a good prisoner within the prison, be a reformed prisoner, the correctional institute. What do they say in America? They don't call it the jail. Yeah, they call it correctional institute, I think. Gurudev calls it the government guest house. But correctional institution is pretty much what we are to understand. We're to be corrected. This is why we're here. And then we'll find out that we're not selfish units. We're not taking units. Our real nature is that we are a giver to the Lord. So Jaiva Dharma, the nature of the soul when it's cleansed of all unwanted things, is very wonderful. Krishna, Krishna. We know that Vaishnava Dharma is the original religion, the Jaiva Dharma, or religion of all souls, and all others are only the misconceived portion of the original. So, Vaishnava Dharma. Hare Krishna. And one part, by the way, I do remember from the Jaiva Dharma is maybe it's the first chapter or the introduction, it's very early on. And there, one sadhu, and I think his name was indeed Sannyasi Prabhu, or just called Sannyasi. And he had a revelation about Mahaprabhu, about Krishna, but especially about Mahaprabhu. He had a special, like a revelation. And he saw the devotees wearing the tilak, he heard the cartels and mridanga and everything. And seeing all this, he fainted. And then after fainting, when he came round, he didn't see it anymore. And he was a Mayavadi sannyasi. This was the point. He was a Mayavadi sannyasi, but he was in Godrum Deep, in Navadip. And then after this vision and like the clarity of everything, then when he came to his senses, or in the morning perhaps he woke up, and when he came to his senses, he made that conviction, I'm going to dress like them. I want to be one of them. That is so joyful, like the joy of living, joie de vivre. And so from that day on, from that moment on when he came to his senses, he got tilak and put the Vaishnava tilak, he put the 3 strands of tulsi around his neck, he wore the cloth as the Vaishnavas do. And he had like an instant conversion by that revelation. And that is in the very beginning, introduction, or very early part of the Jaiva Dharma. And I recall this because our former good advisor, Sagar Maharaj, he included that part as the introduction in one of the publications. So we had occasion to visit that. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. So we need to be devotees. Can anybody help me? Put up your hand. What? No hands? Oh no. Yes, anybody, you put up your hand. Did you? Thank you for your help. Chaitanya Moy Devirasi put up her hand. Thank you for your help. Devashis Prabhu, help me to find my Dharma. Oh, that sounds very terrible in the modern world, doesn't it? But actually, that's what we need to do. Devashis Prabhu.
Yes,
Humbly, with some straw between my teeth, coming to you.
Maharaj, we're all looking to you. We're all looking to you as our well-wisher and our friend. As Gurudev said, he will be the leader of the devotees. No one can go across him, and especially of the Western devotees.
Hare Krishna.
So we are taking that very much to heart. And regarding the Jaiva Dharma, it is me, I prefer that expression Jaiva Dharma than Sanatan Dharma, mainly because in the UK we have a very big Indian community and Hindu community, and every temple, Hindu temple, they are telling Sanatan Dharma, but whatever they're preaching or whatever they're practicing, it is Sanatan Dharma. But generally, it is not at all Sanatan Dharma. It is just some kind of cultural, religious thing, which very often doesn't touch on Krishna consciousness at all. So and they're telling Sanatan Dharma, but it is actually Swadharma. It is actually mundane or relative Dharma. And not that that doesn't have any value, but to call that as Sanatan Dharma is actually misleading, because only Krishna consciousness really is Sanatan Dharma. And of course, every follower of every religion will tell that their religion is the highest religion. And we're also saying that. And sometimes it makes us sound very sectarian that we are saying that. But actually, you have to look, stand back and look and see what is the criterion. And as Srila Prabhupada would say, doesn't matter if you're a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew, that doesn't matter. That's all like a rubber stamp. But the real thing is, are you developing love of God? And any religion that teaches us to love God, that is actually Sanatan Dharma. And religion, in that sense, religion is one. There is only one religion, and that is love of God. So wherever we find that, we can say that that is an expression of Jaiva Dharma. And of course, there's higher and there's lower conceptions. But if they are teaching us to love God, and that teaching is actually helping us to love God, then we can say that that is Jaiva Dharma, under whatever label it may go. So, we say Krishna consciousness, Vaishnava Dharma, is actually really Jaiva Dharma. And someone will say, yes, just like every other religion, they're saying their religion is the best, their religion is the highest. That's okay. But the criteria is how much you are developing real, genuine love for God. And from love for God, real love, you become a satellite of that love to all living beings. Not the other way around, not by loving everything that you become imbued with love of God. It's the opposite way. By loving God, we are able to connect with all in a loving way. And only through that, as Srimad Bhagavatam tells us, by watering the root of the tree, all the branches, leaves, and so on become nourished. Not that you can water leaf by leaf or branch by branch. That will be futile. It will not give you the desired result. You have to water the root. So similarly, we have to go to the root, and that root is God, but more specifically, Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate expression of divinity. We find that to be true if we look at it from an objective point of view. If we make a comparative study, we will find that what's been taught by the ancient scriptures of India, and especially by Srimad Bhagavatam and by Sri Chaitanya Dev, that is real Jaiva Dharma. And regarding the book Jaiva Dharma, which Guru Maharaj told was one of his favorite books, I remember Srila Guru Maharaj telling that in the time of Saraswati Thakur, at that time, one of his godbrothers, a senior sannyasi, he remarked to Saraswati Thakur, how wonderful that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has been able to invent this book and write this novel, because it's in the form of a novel, that he's written this novel and to teach Krishna consciousness and invented all of these characters that are within it. But Guru Maharaj objected, no, I don't think that is true. I think that these things, they actually happened, but in another kalpa, means in another time frame before, as things revolve, in the universe. And Saraswati Thakur supported Guru Maharaj. Yes, it is not imaginary, it is real. It is just happening in another time frame, we can say. So, it's all, actually, it's real scripture. It's in the truest sense of the word. And it is very nice to read as a novel, and you can digest it in a very nice way. And it's full, brimming with the Siddhanta of Krishna consciousness. And it's very well worth reading. If you can read that book, it's very well worth reading. And there are some fairly good editions. Personally, I would recommend the edition which is published, which is translated to English by Sarva Bhavana Prabhu. You remember Sarva Bhavana Prabhu, the Bengali who used to come and see Guru Maharaj often? He has written an English translation, and that's been published. I can't remember the publishers, but it's available, and it's a very good translation. In my humble opinion, it's very good. Of all the available translations that may be there, that's, I think, the best one. Anyway, it's a very informative, educational, and uplifting scripture. And Guru Maharaj was very fond of Jaiva Dharma. And there you will find many very interesting conversations which teach us what is actually Jaiva Dharma, or the religion of the soul. So, you know, when we were with Srila Gurudev, when he was preaching in London, he was invited to the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, and there he gave a very nice talk there. But he was introduced, the man who introduced him on the stage said, he remarked, "Oh, we are all members of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Some of us are devotee of Shiva, some of us are devotees of Devi, some of it, you know, but today we are all Krishna Bhakta, because here is Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj. He will give talk about Krishna. So today we are all Krishna Bhakta." But actually, he didn't understand the truth of his own statement, that not just today, but always we are all, and everyone is Krishna Bhakta. Actually, this is the question that was asked to Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, or rather, Sanatana Goswami Prabhu asked to Mahaprabhu this question. Ki ami? He said, Ki ami? Who am I? And why am I suffering in this material world? And of course, Sanatana Goswami, he's an enlightened devotee of the Lord, and he knew very well the answer to that question. But he wants to hear from Mahaprabhu. What will Mahaprabhu tell as the answer to that? And famously, Mahaprabhu said, Jivara Shorupahoy, Nityara Krishna Das, Krishnera Tatasta Shakti Beda Bed Prakash. That you are a Jiva, and your Sarup, your form, your spiritual form is Krishna Das, the eternal servant of Krishna. You are born from his marginal potency, Krishnera Tatasta Shakti, and you are one with him and simultaneously different from him, Veda Ved Prakash. This is the truth of your existence, and not just your existence, Sanatan, but every jiva, every living being, their identity is this, that they are Nitya Krishna Das, the eternal servant of Krishna. And this is actually Jaiva Dharma, to understand that you are the eternal servant of Krishna. And as Maharaj very nicely said, that our Gurudevs, they have made a very nice program, morning, evening, and established many centers all around the world, just to help us to understand that we are Nitya Krishna Das, and to promote that in everything that we do and in everything that we practice in our own lives, so that that will become embedded within us, that yes, I am the eternal servant of Krishna. And from that, all good fortune will come. This is my thoughts about this today. Maharaj, thank you.
Okay, unmute my microphone. Jai Devashis Prabhu. So, how will I re-establish myself, or establish myself in my proper position? What will we do? What's the best thing for us to do, Devashis Prabhu? Where's Devashis Prabhu gone?
Yeah, I'm here. But, oh, hang on. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to press the microphone, but switched off the video instead.
No problem, no problem. So what is the best advice for how to find my real form instead of my imaginary form?
Now that is Name Ruchi Jive Doya Vaishnava Sevan. To develop love for the holy name of Krishna by constantly chanting this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And to be kind to all living souls. And that means, ultimately, that means to try to help them towards Krishna Bhakti. That's real help. Not just, as Srila Guru Maharaj would say, not just to save the drowning man so that he can just drown in the material ocean of ignorance, or not to feed the starving man that, again, so that he can be active in this material world, but to feed the starving man with Krishna Bhakti, to try to help all living souls towards their eternal home. And the best way to do that is by encouraging everyone and ourselves also to serve a real Vaishnava. If we get the opportunity to serve a real Vaishnava, then everything will come to us. And that's actually the key, the most important thing. Seva to Krishna means service to the Vaishnava. There's no other way, because Krishna is very far away from us. Because, as Srila Gurudev would say, between us and Krishna there is a Himalayan mountain range of ego separating us from Krishna. So how to cross that is only by the grace of the Vaishnava. So if we can get the grace of the Vaishnava by serving the Vaishnavas, and that means, as Mahaprabhu says, das, das, das anu das, the servant of the servant of the servant, servant of a Vaishnava, then we will get the grace of the Lord, and our best benefit will come to us. We will awaken to a life of real Krishna consciousness.
And as Guru Maharaj said, and aspiring for the least part of service. We're not trying to get some important position, but servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, in the least capacity, some connection, please give me. I want to engage there. Very beautiful. So we're on Zoom. Zoom is interactive. So we are centered today on the West London Temple. This is the program we're coming to. So can I please ask to the West London Temple if you have any question? Otherwise, I may ask a question. Oh, you've got feedback. Feedback.
Maharaj?
Yes.
Yes, I I have a question, not quite related, but somewhat related. I was wondering, what came to mind was the question of how can we stay versatile in our interpretation of the environment, where we're how can I continue to challenge my observations that are most likely faulty or limited, so that I can come more closer to the right angle of vision and proper interpretation of the environment?
Well, I mean, I can put my 10 cents worth in on this one, and that is that this world, sudden change of this world with the virus situation suddenly has to make us all a bit versatile, because whatever was our routine before, that doesn't mean only yours truly, me, but it means basically probably 80% of the people of the world, if not more, whatever was the routine before, having to adjust that. But we've got, as Devashis Prabhu said, the guidance of the Vaishnavas, we've got the family of the Vaishnavas, and so we can always look to them. And in particular, what's one of the 6 favorable things which is going to ensure our success? We want to follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas. And we've got this, if you like, a direct example in the recent time of Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. And then slightly before that, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who they're all presenting in fact. And Srila Saraswati Thakur, he was in the time when the motor car started to be advented. So the motor car comes to India and he's using the motor car. He was showing adjustment from the rigid idea of what was a sadhu, the rigid idea of renunciation. And he was showing very much how we adjust by trying to see everything in relation to the Lord. So we need to always be with our eyes open, and in a way we're all making adjustments, because now you see everybody's adjusted from letters to email, from email to instant messaging. You know, all these things, they've just seemed like automatic. How did people live before you had the internet? So some things we adjust too easily, but we need to be able to be prepared for the unexpected always, and try to see what is the descending wish. This example, this expression coming from Guru Maharaj, that not just wait and see, but wait and see. We need to understand, see what is the descending will of the Lord and do that. So we're always looking for that indication. And in the time of Gurudev, of course, it's kind of very easy because in the sense of, you know, you have a plan and you've got your week planned out. Gurudev has another plan and he tells that, and then automatically, you know, you just thrown out your week's plan without any hesitation. But we have to now try to discriminate more ourselves of what is the correct plan and the correct path, and be able to adjust. So circumstances come to us all the while, and the actual, I'm trying to think of the example that you may kind of want to give, but not say it or something, but I don't know quite the example of your thinking. Would you like to share an example of how you feel inflexible and wish you were more flexible?
Perhaps when things happen, we're always trying to see it as a positive. Whatever happens, see it as the will of the Lord, and adjust our mind faulty vision to draw the correct interpretation of the situation. But again, like you said, like it's not fixed. It's not like, okay, that interpretation was the correct one, now I'm moving on. It seems Krishna consciousness is very, very dynamic, ever never static. And so it seems to require that type of versatility where I can admit in any instance that I haven't drawn necessarily the correct interpretation. So that's kind of my thinking.
Yes, and another thing is that we also, at some stage or another, we don't really even want to interpret. We just accept, oh, it's the will of the Lord. Something happened, I mean, very recently something happened, and the devotees are all very upset about something which happened, like a little bit of a, you know, a disturbance between two devotees. But then we have to kind of sit back and be aloof, and then a couple of days later, the devotee saying, oh, this was a very good thing to happen because this came out of it, that came out of it. And at the time, then I also was thinking, you know, why has it happened? And we really have to try to see from like Gurudev's angle of vision. Gurudev is always wanting to understand why something is taking place. And perhaps it was Devashis Prabhu recently who reminded us how Gurudev, he was getting some very bad phone calls at one time, or actually different times, but I mean, really some very unfortunate things. But Gurudev himself wanted to take the call, And we are saying, Gurudev, don't worry, we'll answer and try to subdue the persons, as it were, to satisfy them. But Gurudev is saying, no, this is coming to my ear. Why is it coming to my ear? This I am trying to understand. So even when things are apparently coming to attack our ego, or we see a clash between other devotees, we must try to think, why is Krishna allowing me to see it? Why is Krishna allowing me to hear it or be at all involved? And then we have to always really try to see that everything is happening by the will of the Lord, and there's a lesson in it for us. And so we need to see, we need to be aloof from the conflict between devotees, not to take sides. Everybody is a devotee. We need to be aloof and able to adjust our vision, not by analysis, but by accepting, oh, there's something for me in all of this. So many things can happen to us, but in the material world, people have to be flexible with their businesses and everything. Right now, I mean, so many people materially, they've got to completely rearrange their lives. So we have to be flexible, but our flexibility is really trying to recognize, what is the will of the Lord. The devotees will help us with that. And on the theme of today, we are devotees. That is our nature inside. So we shall always try to be looking for that devotional part in ourselves and see how can I contribute in a positive way everywhere? And how is the environment contributing to cleaning me up from my misconceptions of ego, this, that, and the other? But on a simple fact, somebody may be the chief cook, and then suddenly they have to clean the entrance hall because we got guests coming. We need to be flexible in duties like that. But that's one kind of a flexibility. I understand you're meaning something a bit more than just the flexibility of our duty, what we're asked to do today, yesterday, what I had planned for tomorrow, etc. But above all, keep the standard of our previous acharyas on our head. That is worshipable, and we shall try to follow their guidance. And chanting the holy name, following the programs, serving the devotees, the very processes which will clean our heart and reveal little bit by little bit our actual Dharma, our Jiva's Dharma inside, Jaiva Dharma. And don't forget, we're connected with Mahaprabhu. And as we heard in that little excerpt from Guru Maharaj this morning describing the devotee who's asking to Sanatan Goswami about, oh, Jaiva Dharma is eternal, but why do you say it came from Mahaprabhu? And then he's giving this added, the turbocharged part that never before has such a thing been given. And the point is that we are in that school, we're in that family, we've been somehow adopted in that wonderful family of the highest distribution. So we will happily look to our masters in every situation and think, yes, I've come here to serve, not to fight with the environment. I need to be flexible to adjust to everything in the vision that you are trying to teach us. And how do we get the vision? By hearing their talks, reading their talks, reading the books, the transcripts, but doing. Everything is for doing. And that's why we're here today. That's why we come together, to be with each other, to help us to do, to practice what we are hearing. Knowledge itself won't help us. Hare Krishna. And the beautiful pictures of our parampara are on the wall behind you. Jai. And if I click on gallery view, anybody has a question or contribution, Govinda Nandini Devidasi, you're just next door to London. You are listening often and doing transcription, doing translation, doing many things, assisting devotees.
I don't know how to unmute yet.
What treasure have you come across recently? Would you like to share something with us?
Yeah, well, I am trying a new formula.
A new formula? Acha.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to work, but it has worked till now. And I'm thinking this way. I am a buyer in Krishna. I'm a taker in Krishna consciousness. So I want to take. I want to be well received, to listen good words, but sometimes it doesn't happen. And I think these opportunities, maybe I can use them as a seller. Maybe I can improve my preaching. They're like a thread which I can pull and improve my preaching, first of all to myself, and later on to the receiver, or if the receiver that emitted those words that annoyed, that brought some ego pains to me, maybe he or she won't listen, but it can work for like another people. So I don't know if I was clear. I could.
Right, we want to be a giver. We all want to sit and hear something nicely, but we want to also give and tell ourselves, lecture ourselves. Is this what you mean?
Yeah, and when things don't work out, I don't know if this was Pandita's question about when you need to be flexible, when you, like the example you gave, Gurudev picking up the phone, oh, this message, why am I hearing this? Why is this message coming to me? So, and in the process of thinking, of trying to accept and also think deeply about this message, something I can improve, something I can transform into it. Maybe I was not clear. Maybe my behavior was not satisfying. So I can improve inside this message and transform it into something that I can sell into this message. Though I'm not, I am not, let's say, a good messenger. I am trying to be part of this message. So,
and also an expression of Guru, in this case of Gurudev, of his humility and his tolerance and his giving honor to others. I mean, really, we've seen that embodiment, and somewhere in today's discussion with each other, it's very good for us to mention humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others for the satisfaction of Gurudev. But yes, Hare Krishna. Jai, thank you, Govinda Nandini Didi.
Thank you.
In the countryside of the Sao Paulo state in Brazil, in a wooden house. And Chaitanya Moy Devirasi, were you about to give us a little contribution? In not quite the countryside of Brazil, even though you're from Brazil, but you're in Rome. All roads lead to Rome. But your microphone is turned off. You need to click it on if you say. A little nearer the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear now, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What I can share, what I have present in my mind today, because of something that happened yesterday. I got a phone call from somebody who tried some of my yoga classes, and she shared a beautiful heart experience she had, not in my yoga classes, but somehow she wanted to connect with me. And after talking to her, after listening to all her story, I really had this feeling that Gurudeva is telling me, this is like somebody's calling me because saw me on YouTube. I don't know who is this person. She's calling me. She wants to share something with me. So I had really this feeling, Gurudeva is calling me. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you wasting so much time doing so many other things? And that's my conflict every day. And I was telling Dhananjaya Prabhu that every year we speak about trying to read the Bhagavad Gita with others, because we have people that come to do yoga classes. They're interested in something slightly different, but we are speaking of the Bhagavad Gita, but not reading it. We are speaking of Krishna and few verses, but not really going into it, letting them know and letting them experience by themselves. And of course, sharing this with you, it's like, again, telling myself, now I have a responsibility because I'm sharing also with all of you. But yesterday, Dhananjaya Prabhu and I, we said our samkalpa, our proposito, how to say, our resolution for the next year is to try to offer also online, because now it's all online, some meetings of Bhagavad Gita reading. And so we decided we are going to study this during this let's say this between Christmas and New Year's, where we will have a break, and we will study a little deeper, also with the classes of Devashis Prabhu, which we downloaded. He made a series of classes on Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much, Devashis Prabhu. It's always so beautiful hearing you, very touching, touched directly our hearts. And so this is our resolution. We got to do something. And we have all opportunities to do so much, and we don't. So Gurudeva is calling me, is telling me, wake up, do something. As you said, is doing.
Jai. And the Gita must be in the air, because I assume unknown to you, we actually started going through the Gita from beginning to end about 3 days ago. And we're now in the, maybe 4 days ago. We're in the middle of chapter number 3 right now.
Wow, yes. But you're doing that with the group in the ashram, or online?
Yes, it's with the devotees in the ashram. In the morning, also in the morning, you know, they're broadcasting the morning program. But the evening program, we're here, and Anindita, Jai Shekhar Prabhu, who are with us here, they're coming when they can, because now we're not locked down here. We've come out of the red zone. We're now
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. I didn't even know.
Just recently it happened. So now we've got more attendees physically as well as online, and quite a few people do see online. But that's the morning program. But the evening program on Wednesday evenings, then it's broadcast on Facebook here. And this last Wednesday, we had special guests all the way from Utah. We had Sudarshan Prabhu and Raikishori, and they gave a very, very nice class. And after the class, I mean, always Sudarshan Prabhu and Raikishori are going to give us some, happy class. And afterwards, here the Italians, so good, we need to translate this into Italian and let everybody hear. So on Wednesday evenings now is the Italian Zoom, but every morning they are doing the morning 1 or 2 bhajans, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. But this morning we actually heard from Guru Maharaj. We kind of don't do exactly the same thing every day. This morning.
Where are you broadcasting? On Facebook, the morning programs?
Yeah, Facebook, the morning program, and they start pretty much punctually at 6:30. Huh? 6:30? Yeah, 6:30 they start, right? Because the program starts 5:30, 6:30 online.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you so much.
All right. And by the way, I've got to say welcome to Indupati Prabhu. He's with us from China. So we've got really across the board. And Madhu Gopal Prabhu from Mexico is with us too. And I think we welcome the other devotees. But really, Ananda Swarupini did it. I was thinking of you a few moments ago. And actually repeatedly today. And I see that you're online there too. Ananda Swarupini did it. So a big welcome.
Thanks, Maharaj. Good to see you and everyone.
And Govinda. Oh, and a raised hand. Praneshwari knew I was just about to wrap things up. So she's raised her hand. Praneshwari Didi, please.
Yes, just a reminder that Sudarshan Prabhu and Raikishori and Nyasi Maharaj and Sri Leka, they have this recurring Bhagavad Gita class. It's on Wednesdays. It's always on Bhakti Connect. And they go from chapter 1 to chapter 18 and then around again. And it has been recurring for several years. And it's a beautiful, beautiful class.
And what time on Wednesday? Wednesday evening, Salt Lake City, right?
Wednesday evenings for them is 6:30 in the evening. So we just have to convert.
So Bhakti Connect means Facebook, is it?
Bhakti Connect, it's there is a private group on WhatsApp under the umbrella of Bhakti Connect. This is run by Chinmoy Prabhu. So he always announces the classes.
It's good to know. And today, just so you know, in the digital world, today on 6 p.m. Italy time, I'm not sure what that is in any other time of the world. Oh, wait, it's 5 p.m. in London, but they do children's class is organized by, maybe Praneshwari is the organizer, and she invites a different person each week to give a class. And we've already had Rai Kishori giving a class, we've had Sri Leka giving a class, and today our class master is Devashis Prabhu. So he's giving a class to the children, and any grown-ups who like to come in as children, also welcome. And what's your class on today, Devashis Prabhu? I mean, class it's storytelling for children.
Yes, it's the story of Maharaj Prataparudra, the king who swept the road.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right, so dear devotees, let us chant the jais of our masters, without whom we are nowhere, and nowhere. Jai wonderful Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai wonderful Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, founder or charger of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. And Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. And Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Shri Rupa Guru Vaga ki jai. And our dear Sri Chaitanya Saraswati, our charger Vrinda ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Sripad Devashis Prabhu ki jai. And all the assembled devotees in all different places assembled together in the West London temple to fill up all those seats that have been laid out for us to sit on. So Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bancha Kaupatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Atitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
And Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Dandavat Ishanuga head.
Maharaj,
Yes.
we are waiting for you in London.
Yes, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Soon, come soon.
Very kind of you.
Our East London temple is more or less ready, so some new places, new rooms. Everything is set up, Maharaj. We're just waiting. The rooms are waiting for you.
Hare Krishna, right? We hear that progressing, even in the difficulties. They've made new rooms, getting the official government approval and all those things for that. So we're very happy that going forwards with all the plan and program, despite any obstacles on the way. So with full support and encouragement from my lowly self, and with everybody supporting you, no doubt, happily. All right, we will be with you again and again, and in person in due course of time.
Jai.
Dandavat, dandavat. Jai Guru Maharaj.